Hi. Today in this video, I'm going to discuss Shakespeare's The Tempest and the characterization. In the first video, I have discussed the plot of The Tempest written by William Shakespeare. Today, I would like to talk about the major characters in Shakespeare's play, The Tempest. As you all know, The Tempest is one of the important plays of William Shakespeare, and it has gained greater significance in the context of post-colonial studies. The Tempest is said to be the last play of Shakespeare, comes under the category of somber plays or tragic comedies. Tragic comedy is a form in which we see the combination of both tragic and comic elements. And that's why I remember a critic saying, tragic clouds are always hanging over the comic world of Shakespeare. It is in this play we see both the elements. And when it comes to discussion on the characters, we can look into the important characters of The Tempest. And before we look into the characters, a quick look at Shakespeare's biography. He is known as the greatest dramatist of all times, and it is even accepted by the contemporaries of his time. Although some of the contemporaries of his time, like Robert Greene, said Shakespeare is an upstart crop beautified with our feathers. Of course, Greene was not happy with the Shakespeare because Shakespeare made use of all the best materials and wrote popular plays in 16th century. His plays are widely read and performed all over the world. And when it comes to the plots of Shakespeare, they are woven beautifully. And his themes are universal and applicable to all ages. That's why his plays are tested by time and time. And when it comes to characterization in Shakespeare's plays, they are superb. He created great heroes, brave, handsome, intelligent heroes in his tragedies, particularly Macbeth, a great general, Hamlet, the Prince of Denmark, Julius Caesar, the Emperor of Rome, Othello, the Moor of Venice, King Lear, the King of England. Similarly, he created a number of heroines, beautiful, charming, intelligent heroines in his comedies, like Rosalind in As You Like It, Rosalind and Celia, Miranda in The Tempest, Helen and Hermia, and Midsummer Night's Dream, Portia in The Merchant of Venice. Let us discuss some of the important characters in his play, The Tempest. The Tempest presents before us a wonderful story of love and, the betrayal of brothers, and at the same time, the theme of repentance. So in this play, we have the major characters like Prospero, the Duke of Milan, father of Miranda, Miranda, the daughter of Prospero, and later the beloved of Ferdinand, Antonio, brother of Prospero, who assaults him, Ferdinand, the son of Alonso, the king of Naples, and he is also the lover of Miranda. Caliban, son of Sycorax, half civilized, savage, claims to be the original inhabitant of the island, and Ariel, the good spirit that helps Prospero. There are other minor characters like Gonzalo, an honest counselor who helps Prospero, Adrian, Francisco, they are lords, Trincolo is a jester, Sebastian is the brother of the king of Naples, Stefano, the butler, boatswain, mariners, Iris, sitters, Juno, nymphs, spirits. All types of minor characters are also employed in this play. Let's discuss some important characters of the Tempest. The character of Prospero is a major character, and Prospero is said to be the protagonist of the play The Tempest, because throughout the play we see Prospero in all the 5 acts, and he plays a major role in the plot of the play. Obviously, the whole action depends on what Prospero does and how he takes decisions. We come to know in the beginning of the play, we come to know that Duke of Milan, Prospero, created Tempest and disturbed them. There is a reason for that. He talks about the reason why he is disturbing the ship carrying King of Naples, particularly Alonso and his friends, including Antonio, Sebastian, and all. He tells his daughter that he was once a Duke of Milan before he was overthrown by his brother. And he was a voracious reader, was more interested in reading and new learning. And he trusted his brother Antonio and let him administer his dukedom, because Prospero was more interested in studies rather than ruling the people. I remember Ulysses saying, "What can I do with the savage people and savage laws?" So obviously, administration is not everybody's cup of tea, and he just let his brother continue. But Antonio misused the powers given by his brother. He conspired against him and ousted him with the help of King of Naples. And that is the wrong thing we can see. And Prospero and his little daughter, Miranda was just 2 years old at the time, were put on a rotten boat. But fortunately, they survived with the help of Gunjalo, the noble man who helped them with necessary, materials, particularly the one loved by Prospero. He put all the interesting books Prospero loved, and he ensured that there is a safe passage to an island, for which Prospero remains grateful to Gonzalo. As a father, of course, is very kind to his daughter. He took care of her during 12 years of stay on the island. He was everything to her, father, mother, friend, you know. So in that way, Prospero also derives some strength from his little daughter, Miranda. She is not only beautiful, but also very, very kind-hearted. Of course, sometimes Prospero behaves strangely and rudely, mm, before his daughter, only to teach lessons to his enemies. In fact, the way he behaved while talking about creating a storm for these people, Miranda was shocked to see her father creating a storm. And he also gives a lot of tests, as a responsible father, of course. He tests the worthiness of Ferdinand as a right match for his daughter. That's why he gave a lot of testing. That's what the testing of love, true love, whether he is the right choice for my daughter. This is how Prospero gave him a lot of hard work. And that way, he wanted to perform his duty as a responsible father. Prospero was also a magician. He studied magic, and he applied all the magic, even in the beginning itself. That he freed Ariel, He arrested Caliban and he made Caliban his slave. He taught him language, no doubt about it. But when he was not capable of using the language and knowledge, he made him the slave. So it's all because of the magic, he learned. He played many tricks with his enemies with the help of Ariel. He created Tempest to displace King's party, and he also played magic by disappearing the variety of dishes which the king and his men want to eat when they are hungry, and all the dishes disappear because of Prospero. And what happens here? Prospero also proved to be a very, very kind-hearted human being at the end of the play. We come to know that even he proved to be very kind, including his enemies. He wanted to educate Caliban, but of no use. He tried his best to bring about a kind of a reformation among his enemies. When Caliban eyed Miranda and attempted to rape her, he finally decided to make him slave and gave all the menial work. At the end of the play, of course, he forgives everyone. His brother Antonio, Alonso, the king of Naples, and Caliban. He sets free Ariel after he completed all the assignments, because he promised him once all the assignments are over, he would be freed. Prospero is dubbed as the colonizer, and the Caliban is colonized in the post-colonial reading of the play, because Prospero enters the island as an outsider, and Caliban shows him all the treasure of the island, and Caliban made Prospero made use of the knowledge given by Caliban. Later, he made Caliban his own slaves. In that context, we come to know that Prospero is an outsider who began to rule the island. However, Prospero remains a major character in the play, and as a father, as a brother, as a man of knowledge, he is remembered in the play. So this I close discussion on the character of Prospero. The character of Caliban, of course, Caliban is one of the major characters in the play. The Tempest, of course, it may be a negative character, but a character which has been discussed seriously in the critical circle. He claims to be the original inhabitant of the island, and that's why he's not ready to obey Prospero's orders, because he was a son of witch Sycorax, who already died by the time the play starts. He's 24 years old because he lived 12 years on the island before Prospero arrives, and 12 years Prospero lived on this island. Totally, he's on the island for 24 years. Caliban in the beginning became a good friend of Prospero. He showed him all the important places of the island to Prospero. That's what he said. I have shown you all the treasures, all the ins and outs of this particular colony or island. Prospero made use of the knowledge given by Caliban. In turn, Prospero also taught him language, manners, some kind of civilization, which Caliban was not able to inculcate fully. He disobeyed him. Once he tried to rape Miranda with an intention to create many Calibans on the island, and Prospero made him slave later. He was very angry with Prospero. He told him, "You taught me language and my profit on it. is I know how to curse. The red plague rid you for learning me your language. It's how Caliban reacts to Prospero when he tried to make him the slave. Of course, even Caliban continued his attempts. Once he tried to overthrow Prospero with the help of Stefano, but of no use as uh, he is a jester. He failed in his attempts. So he took a wrong means. Prospero was, in fact, very, very powerful, man of knowledge, man of magic. He was not able to defeat him. However, he is forgiven by Prospero at the end. He stands as a symbol of colonized being. So with this, I can conclude discussion on Caliban. Character of Miranda. So Miranda is a woman character in the play. Shakespeare created charming and beautiful women characters in his comedies. Miranda is one of the major women characters in Shakespeare, and particularly the Tempest, the only women character who attracts our attention. She is the daughter of Prospero and beloved of Ferdinand. She grew under the care of her kind father and stayed 12 years on the island and never knew anything about men except about her father. When she sees Ferdinand, she finds him as a spirit and fairly tame. She says, "What's it? A spirit? Lord, how it looks about. Believe me, sir, it carries a brave form, but it's a spirit." She plainly expresses her love for him, and I quote, "I'm your wife if you will marry me. If not, I will die you have made." This shows Miranda's continuous, good-heartedness. Miranda is her father's favorite. Prospero drew strength from his daughter's presence, and she feels very bad to see her lover, Ferdinand, doing manual work on the orders of her father, who wanted to test his true love. She wanted all human beings to be safe and happy. And finally, her father consents to marry Ferdinand. Like Shakespeare's other characters like Rosalind, Celia, Hermia, Helen, and Portia, Miranda is beautiful and kind-hearted human being. In this way, we come to know that uh, Miranda is the most interesting character in the play, The Tempest. And I just want to continue discussion on other plays of Shakespeare, and let us go. The character of Miranda and Prospero have been discussed, and now we shall discuss some of the important characters like yes, Ferdinand. Ferdinand is a young and handsome son of Alonso, the king of Naples. He is separated from king's party in the shipwreck caused by the tempest. Of course, he bravely faces the storm and swims back to shore. When he sees Miranda, he falls in love at the first sight. He's like Orlando in Aguilacate, or Lysander in Midsummer Night's Dream. He is young and handsome. Shakespeare's heroes are young and handsome. He is ready to forgo his kingdom for the sake of Miranda. Um, and he is very firm in his love for Miranda. And he considers the wreck as a blessing as he was able to meet Miranda on this island. Of course, he says he enjoyed greatly and suffered greatly, but there is some meaning in suffering, and he really enjoyed that. Of course, he loved his father and searches desperately for him. He does all the hard work assigned by Prospero for the sake of Miranda. He says, I quote, "No precious creature, I had rather crack my sinews, break my back, than you should dishonor undergo, while I sit lazy by." He feels very happy at the end, as all ends well, because his father approves of the marriage with Miranda, Prospero approves him, and obviously the blessings of all the parents, that they were able to enter wedlock at the end. So the play ends with the ringing of marriage bells. So obviously Ferdinand is one of the important male characters in this play, the Tempest. The character of Ariel is taken up now. Of course, Shakespeare used all the fairy tale elements in many of his comedies and tragedies. Ariel is an interesting character in Shakespeare's The Tempest. He is a spirit of the air, as his name suggests. It's delicate, swift, overworldly, otherworldly. Of course, he doesn't seem to belong to this world because he can disappear, he can appear in different forms. This is what we see in some of the plays of Shakespeare, particularly Midsummer Night's Dream, Folk, Titania, Oberon. So Ariel's spirit, he was actually in the initial part of the play. Prospero says he was arrested or held by Sycorax, who hanged him to a pine bark. Prospero found him, released him, and from that day onwards, Ariel becomes the honest servant of Prospero. Ariel executes all the orders of Prospero. He's a very, very obedient servant, unlike Caliban. Caliban misses and sometimes does wrong things. He creates storm in the beginning, saves the lives of Alonso and Prospero when there was a conspiracy to kill them. In that way, it's a very, very good spirit. He helps Miranda and Ferdinand come together, creates a kind of an ambience, and at last he was freed by Prospero, as Prospero was very happy with the work done by Ariel. And Ariel, uh, is an interesting character because everyone enjoys fairy tale elements in the play, and Ariel plays that. There are other characters in the play, of course, Antonio, brother of Prospero, Duke of Milan. He usurped his brother from Dukedom of Milan. He even instigates Sebastian to kill Alonso, the king of Naples. He has not a remorse. He has no remorse actually for what he had done to his brother. Although Prospero forgives him at the end, he does not show any repentance. In that way, he's a flat character, doesn't change much even at the end, because we see two types of characters, flat characters and rounded characters. Antonio comes into the category of flat characters, the nature of whom does not change even at the end. Alonso, the king of Naples and the father of Ferdinand, initially he helped Antonio in overthrowing his brother Prospero. But when on island after the shipwreck, he undergoes a change. He's thankful to Prospero for saving the lives and matrimonial alliance too. Saved and he's very happy when he sees his son Ferdinand alive. Very happy to see Ferdinand with Miranda. So in that way, Alonso changes at the end, and he becomes a very, very good man and good friend of Prospero too. Gonzalo is another character. He is an elderly gentleman. He helped Prospero when he was in distress. He ensured a safe passage to the island. He's also loyal to Alonso. Hence, Antonio and Sebastian want to kill the loyal servant. But Gonzalo is kind-hearted gentleman throughout. He does not do any harm to anybody. And in that way, he is like a Jack in Adulaket. Sebastian is another character. He's a younger brother of Alonso. He's more like Antonio. Both the younger brothers are disloyal, and the theme of betrayal applies to both Sebastian and Antonio. Both try to dislocate their brothers. He also, like Antonio, tries to kill his brother for the sake of throne of Naples. He too does not show any repentance for his act at the end of the play. So in that way, this is also a flat characters. So after looking at all the characters in the play, we come to know that the major characters are Prospero, Miranda, Ferdinand, and Caliban. And the focus here is that how Shakespeare could create such wonderful, group of characters, how he was able to fill the life in all these characters, and how they appear to be very, very lively, and they remain universal and applicable to today's life too. So with this, I'm going to close discussion on the characterization in Shakespeare's The Tempest. Thank you very much for listening.